So not too long ago, we spoke about a game called 2 Point Hospital, and in this video, we're going to be going through, is it worth playing 2 Point Campus? If you're familiar with 2 Point Hospital, this game is made by the same people, except this time around you're building up a campus. But for those of you that have never played the game, you've never really heard of it before, what 2 Point Campus is basically, you have a campaign, you've got Sandbox mode and stuff, and what you are doing is you are building up, like, universities, campuses, whatever you want to call them. You're building them up, and you're aiming to get your students the highest grade possible. And you'll do that, like, for an example, in the Sandbox mode, because there is a full-on campaign that will have you reaching different goals and stuff. But in the Sandbox mode, you are going to have a lot more freedom. You're going to build up the campus however you want. And basically, what you do is you start off, you have to build, like, lecture rooms, you need a library. And what you're going to do is you are going to set the courses that are going to run for the academic year. So you might have some general knowledge, you might have money wrangling, or whatever they want to call it. Like, there's a lot of humor in this game. A lot of it is unrealistic. They have a very creative approach to making these games. And you've got 2 Point Hospital, you've got this one, 2 Point Campus, and they are also making 2 Point Museum. But in Campus, you set up your lecture rooms and stuff, and in the Sandbox modes, you've got the goal still of getting all of your, like, highest grades possible, unless you want to switch up and play it differently. And in the campaign, you're going to have set tasks that you need to do. So you might be required to build very specific rooms to have certain courses running throughout the academic year. And what I love about all of these games, because I really enjoyed playing Theme Hospital when I was a kid, that was made by a different company, but then I thoroughly enjoyed playing 2 Point Hospital when that first came out back in 2018, and then I've really enjoyed playing 2 Point Campus as well. These games basically add humour into the idea of you building up your own hospital, or in this case, a campus. And the developers know exactly what they're doing when it comes to the humour. There's a lot of humour and is very well thought out in these games. But it's not just building your rooms. You can't just go, right, I'm going to have a library, a lecture room, boom, general knowledge course done. You're going to have different rooms that are required for different courses you want to teach throughout the academic year. You're going to have to hire your staff. You're going to have to build up the attractiveness. You're also going to have to make sure people are not too hot or not too cold. You're going to need a medical room. You're going to need toilets, showers, dorms. You're going to need, like, kitchens or cafeterias. You're going to need staff rooms for when your staff are getting a little bit fed up or they're tired, so they can go and relax and sort of, like, recoup their energy. There is a lot to do in a game like this, because you've got the campaign where you're going to have very specific goals and stuff, and then you've got Sandbox where it's not just going for the highest grades. You can basically play it however you want to. There's different sort of templates you can start your campus on, and you've got creative freedom to do whatever you want. So you might want to set up a campus where you're teaching only very specific, like, courses. You might want to have a game where you're going for the highest grades possible. You might want to have one where you're going for the lowest grades possible. You might want to just start a very quick campus and see how long students can survive without a dorm. You might want to start one up and see how long your staff can go without a staff room, so they never get to replenish their energy and stuff. You can basically do whatever you want to do in the Sandbox mode. There is so much creative freedom. You can change all of your starting money. You can change it so that all of the bonus items and stuff are already unlocked. You can have it so that you're playing through like you would in a campaign mission, but with the creative freedom to do whatever you want. There's a lot of choice, a lot of humour. There's also quite, like, a bit of strategy in these games as well. Because if you are going for a specific goal, you need to be very focused on achieving that goal. These games can be quite tough to actually achieve some goals. I think if there's anything that lets this game down, 2 Point Campus, I think it's that when you have started your academic year, so you've got all the preparation, you've built all your rooms, you've got all your staff hired and everything like that. Once you have everything fully prepared and you start that academic year, there's not too much to do besides sit there and let your students go through their grades and things like that. In 2 Point Hospital, you have a bunch of new illnesses that come in. You've got VIPs that might need urgent treatment. Whereas in 2 Point Campus, you start that academic year, and because you've set your courses and you've designed your campus around those courses, there's not actually a lot to do. So while it is a fantastic game, I've absolutely loved playing all of the, like, both the 2 Point games so far, 2 Point Hospital and Campus. I'm also really looking forward to 2 Point Museum. While I have loved them, I'm gonna say that, like, to answer the question, is it worth playing? I'm gonna say yes, but with 2 Point Hospital, I recommend even buying the game at full price. They're £25 a pop. Whereas 2 Point Campus, I would personally recommend at least a little bit of a sale, just because you have that humongous downtime where there's basically nothing to do. And granted, you could go and set things up for your next academic year if you wanted to. There are ways around it, but if you're just focusing on your current year, you basically have nothing to do whilst the students are learning. And I mean, that's providing you've done all of the required preparation before starting that academic year. So 2 Point Campus, is it worth playing? I'm going to say yes, but I do recommend getting a little bit of a sale on this one because it is a fantastic game, but at the same time, I'm going to say it's probably better to go out and get yourself 2 Point Hospital just because of the way it's set up. I don't like the idea of having that downtime if I've done all of my preparation correctly. But then it's obviously entirely up to you. If you prefer the idea of a hospital, go grab hospital. If you much prefer the idea of a campus, then grab campus. I think they're both great games. And what we are going to do is leave that video there. Let me know your thoughts and stuff about 2 Point Campus in the comments. And I'll see you guys in the next one. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.